Hello, you all. I hope y'all are looking good, doing good, and feeling fantastic. Now, this video does have different parts to it, so please check the description box below for any further details that I may have missed within the video. I want to say a special thank you to all those individuals who reached out to me in terms of where I should park in Charlotte, especially this one person in particular who parks off of Statesville Road. Thank y'all so much. Y'all don't know how much it means to me. I've met quite a few of you out here in this industry, whether it be at a truck stop, a shipping and receiving facility, the Freightliner in Charlotte. I met a good amount of you. This person named Eric, I met in Pennsylvania, who told me I wrote a good book. Thank you so much. This person named Alex, I met at a pilot. You was cool too. And this other person I met in Charlotte, we was backing up off the street at that facility. You was cool too. Now I will say this. There's one person who I met who asked for a whole hug. I'm not about that life. I'm not. I will get very uncomfortable in that sense, and I have an authoritative personality. Now, I mentioned that about my personality because oftentimes I'm very much so misunderstood. I was brought up by a very strong woman who raised us or trained us to be very stern within our character. Now that that part's out the way, as y'all can see, Intermodal is something unique. I was at the port facility in Wando, South Carolina this day. It's very chaotic or hectic. It's so much going on that if you're not paying attention, you'll get hit by somebody who just honestly on the move. And I'm waiting in line to have my container pulled off of the chassis, in which the crane operator, and the way they communicate is through beeping the horn once or twice for you to move forward or for you to back up or line up better within the actual box. Everything is kind of numbered or mapped out, so you're not going to be confused. First time going there, I'm not going to lie, it was a lot, but the next day it was just like an in and out process. Intermodal is cool, but definitely if I had the opportunity, I'll be doing hazmat local any day. Let's get on to my next day. Yeah, tragic. I actually set my alarm at 5:19 and I've been up since 2:49 maybe, but I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep, so I'm just going to get up and get ready. The current time is now 4:42. Yeah, we're just gonna get ready. I had to use the restroom, and the Chronicles, man. I'm gonna let the car warm up for a little bit, then make my way onto my truck, because I haven't had rest since Saturday. Today's Monday the 21st. I've slept, but I haven't had actual rest since Saturday. So it's gonna be like an interesting day. I just pray I do not get a headache. This day on the 21st, I didn't really capture my pickup or delivery locations. I was more so in tuned in what was going on, because I want to place great emphasis on this. I-77, for those who do not know, for most of the drive it is 55. But when merging from the left, when coming off from the left, you'll have some drivers who are not courteous, who aren't patient enough, and sometimes you're just going to have to take your spot. There are people who literally do 80, 85 on this interstate. There are a whole bunch of truck accidents that happen and car collisions that happen because people are in a rush. 77 is one of the worst interstates to drive out in the Charlotte area. The one other thing that I'm appreciative of when driving local, I'm more familiar with the areas of where I'm driving. I know what to expect, Familiarity goes a long way. It does. And I was trying to get over to the right lane, the next lane over. But sometimes you'll have some cars who literally want to ride alongside of you. Some people don't notice the signal. Some people do and don't care. So either you're going to slow down or you're going to speed up. Eventually, the pickup truck sped up so I can get over. But this is how it be. Someone had asked me typically how long are these shifts, and the best way I could reply was like 7 to 9 hours roughly, but it really depends on the driver. For instance, I started today the 21st, like a little bit after 5:45. My intentions was to be home like 2 p.m. And then once my boss lady, we're gonna call her, once she was like, hey, do you want to do such and such? That'd have been load number 3 for the day. If she didn't ask me or offer me the load, I would have just went home. So let's just say my 14-hour clock for the work day was left at 1 hour and 28 minutes left. And so one of my favorites, Benku is the one on the left, Kinky is the one on the right. The Benku was the leftover from the other night, so I gotta finish that. You do not have to use the stove to warm it up. You can microwave it. Chateau is like a peppery mixture, which I like using the combination of both. The tomatoes is a mixture of tomatoes, onions, pepper, and salt. People will typically use fish, chicken, or beef. It doesn't matter, any meat of your choice. Right now, I don't have any, so we're just gonna, make the most of what we have. Today was March 22nd. I did not do a whole get up, get ready with me because my mind was not on there. As y'all can see, it was either 85 or 40 in Greensboro, and I was going to my delivery, and it was a really bad truck accident. One of my upcoming videos I will show y'all, in which some of y'all may find it of great use, is how I trip plan effectively. I always prep myself or set myself up in a way to where I have at least an hour to hour and a half of a grace period, I guess, to make my pickups or deliveries on time. Over here at this location, I was picking up a load, and I want to say maybe 25 miles from my delivery. It's pretty convenient in how I'm dispatched in terms of the distances. It's not extremely far out. If I'm in Greensboro dropping off, I might pick up in Mebane or Durham, or however. It really just depends on the load availability, but thus far, I'm enjoying it. It's not my favorite thing I've experienced within the trucking industry, but I'm pretty appreciative to be home every night. It was time for lunch. If y'all do not know, this restaurant called La Hacienda in Greensboro, North Carolina is amazing. Cookie crumble was right around the corner because I had to get in the dessert. This is a mixture of shrimp, tomato, onions, avocados, cucumbers, and all that. It's pretty good. As some of you don't know, if you're entering this industry, especially, please, please, please locate wherever you want to go on Google Maps. Okay? It will save you a headache. Why? Because you'll be able to assess the perimeter a lot better, in which you won't come up with so many surprises. There may be some unexpected occurrences that may occur, but you'll be prepared once you actually look up the places of where you're going to on Google Maps. Literally, this is how I'm able to come in at this particular entrance, because I know of this area for one, and for two, I know that trucks can maneuver on this side compared to the other entrance that you kind of want to avoid. So, yeah, man. Something else vital to keep in mind, a lot of these local companies will not hire you unless you have over-the-road experience. So entering this industry is kind of like you get in where you fit in, or you just might luck up and just get into that company that best suits your needs. Don't give up. Following the next day, I'm not the healthiest person in the world, okay? But I try my best to consume things that will be most beneficial to my dietary intake. over the road, I just ate whatever I could to sustain my weight. Hello beauties, peace and blessings. Today is March 23rd. I am not, or never have I been, a morning person. I've always been a night owl, for real. And I woke up accidentally somehow around 1:56 a.m. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you what time I went to sleep, but I set my alarm for 3:28 a.m. and this is how we're gonna play it. I'm about to leave the house and go to my truck. Once I finish pre-tripping and everything, then I'm gonna go pick up my container, which they refer to them as boxes, and thereafter we're gonna make our way to our drop-off location 2.5 hours away, and I will show y'all a little more thoroughly of how I pre-trip my container. Okay, all right. What I will say is, on days like this, especially days like this, what I ask God for in my prayer is to give me the strength to get through any unforeseen or unnecessary circumstances that I may face throughout the day, and just stay with that mindset. That's what helps me. So let's go. Okay, so when it comes to these pins, do y'all see that knob looking part inserted into there? The chassis, the container, alright? And the zip tie will be tied just like such, alright? Again, I'll do a more thorough, all that get ready, da with me. But right now, nah, man, I don't have the mental strength. My new hammer, check it out. Oh, baby. But yeah, in the back part, y'all see this? Yeah. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. Or let me see if the other one is set. Maybe not. No, it's not. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. So y'all see how this has like a straightaway angle? We're gonna turn this to make it go as such. Alright. That's all it is. Put that latch up. And then zip tie this around so it'll stay connected. Just like any possible division within the trucking industry, intermodal will make or break a person because a lot of the equipment may be worn out. You have the chassis on your bottom, your container on the top. Normally, I do not connect my truck unless I check the tires and check the container properly. This one's already preloaded. Always check your seal, because we were notified that somewhere, somehow, 2 trailers were broken into at a facility, and they've been very adamant on, enforcing the check your seals, yada yada yada. But I'm gonna let y'all go. Okay, some days, some moments, parking lots with just enough space. We're delivering glass today. Yeah, this glorious morning. Now currently I am getting unloaded, so I'm not gonna hold y'all too long, but what I do want to say, I'm a highly spiritual person. I am. So whatever I project throughout my spirituality, I'm not trying to force it upon anybody, because I have a clear understanding we do not all agree with the same things, understand the same things. We were not all brought up the same way. This is just from my experiences. Long story short, this accident that occurred at 4:26 a.m. right in front of me. So I was merging off of the interstate, right? And there was this Lexus-like sedan that was just sped in front of me, cut me off to try to make a turn. But I don't know if they didn't see or realize there was a smaller red vehicle that was, going a little slower than they were, just going their own pace, and the Lexus-like sedan was so indecisive in terms of which lane to try to switch into. They lost control of the wheel and ran right into the back of the red sedan. The aftermath was terrible, to where it seemed like somebody may have got injured severely, But I was more so hopeful that no one was injured, especially the one who didn't cause it. Now I was more thinking like, dang, I hope no kids were involved. But it's like at 4:26 in the morning, why are you speeding so fast? You gotta go to work, you getting off work. Like, it's unfortunate. So I started to internalize it a bit when I got to my trailer, because I actually was late to where I'm delivering now. I was supposed to be here at 7. I got here a little bit after 7. But I started thinking, like, should I have waited until the cops came? And there were 2 other vehicles that turned into the gas station. Hopefully they made some type of statements, but I don't know. All in all, God has a plan for our life. The devil has a plan for our life. We just have to be wise enough to know which one to follow through these trials and tribulations that will occur within our lives. Things will always happen that are out of our control in any profession, in any situation, relationship, or whatever. We just have to be wise enough on how to handle it. Right now, I'm waiting on my next dispatch, and boss lady informed me that she's gonna try to find a drop a hook within the area, because baby, the way fuel is high, I prefer to receive the most doing the bare minimum. Yeah, live loads, live unloads are cool, but they be wasting time. Dropping hooks, power only moves, yeah man, that's where it's at, for real. Normally it doesn't take her long. Sometimes honestly she'll have a backup already before you even get unloaded, but they were pretty efficient, very, very polite, and it was in and out. So if y'all don't see nothing else for the rest of the day, the 23rd, just know it was a long day, only at 8:47 in the morning, and we will pull y'all back up on one of these other days. So as always, safe travels. Boss lady was unable to get confirmation of the load that she was trying to book me. So from Greensboro, I went all the way back to Charlotte with nothing, and I did 1 load for that day. And this is one of the main things that I dislike of the position that I have right now. Now, for my audiobook listeners, these are possibilities. The title speaks for itself on this one, and you can only imagine about this one. Good morning, you guys, or good evening. The time, I set my alarm for 11:11, and today is the 24th. This is gonna be the most I'll vlog today is now, and when I make my deliveries, it's my longest run today, and I'm heading up to Virginia. So I'm gonna hit the gas station and grab a few items. I'll show y'all what I got, and we will go from there. In today's prayer, it was more about, I prayed for a smoother day. You know, I prayed that everything would go according as planned in the best possible way. From yesterday's experience, I just don't know what today is going to bring. But I know that when I pray before I start my shift, it's a lot more at ease. And I did ask God for sustainability. So I'll pull y'all back up. So I'll briefly explain this throughout the drive. I was picking up my container 25, almost 30 minutes away from the crib, and I was heading up to VA, hustling, bustling. Now around this time, it was 2:51 in the morning. I had a 5 a.m. delivery up in the Salem, Roanoke, Virginia area, and as y'all can see, blissful pleasures driving around these towns with barely anybody on the road. In one of my previous clips, I showed y'all a couple of things I got from the gas station. Those double shot mocha energy drinks I do not rely on unless I need something to keep me going for a couple of hours, in which they work for me. I've never been a fan of Red Bull because they don't work for me, and I never really cared for the taste of Monster energy drinks. But the thing with sunflower seeds, oftentimes I heard that they keep you up and keep you going. It's very seldom you'll ever catch me eating sunflower seeds, okay? They're not really my thing unless I'm behind the wheel around these times. Crack open a window, chew some gum to stimulate you for the time being, and just keep it pushing. A lot of the way stations are closed. A lot of drivers are sleeping. Some drivers may, kind of park on the side of the road where there's no of the parking. So you just gotta be cautious, extra aware of driving during these times. The other big issue is deers. When you see a deer, blow your air horn. If you put on your high beams, a driver will blind the deers. So try to avoid that at all costs. By the grace of the Most High, I did make it to my delivery around 4:48 in the morning. And again, the delivery time was 5 a.m. I will show y'all how I trip plan effectively, as I mentioned before, because some people truly don't know how to trip plan in a way to where it'll set them up for success, because we wasn't all trained the same way. But I had this load of over 40,000 pounds of beverages, and I will say definitely these loads fluctuate in weight. The lowest weight I had was like 2,000 pounds. Another one was 15,000, 13,000. They're not always over 30,000, which is a huge plus. So after I had parked, I went in and signed in, and I will show y'all exactly what I'm talking about with some of how the equipment looks like. The door handles, for instance. Yeah, it's serious. It is. So my departure time is 6:10 a.m. and I'm about to head out to pick up around 25 miles, 30 miles roughly, which is always a plus. And I should be back to Charlotte around 11, 12-ish, depending on traffic and how everything goes. But today was a great day. It's not for the weak, okay? It's not for the weak. Wait. Now forgive me on the audio for this next coming part, because I did ask my sibling, the youngest one, a few questions on what she thought experiencing and being able to witness firsthand what it's like being out on the road. Granted, I do prefer driving at night, and that was one of her major dislikes. So let's see what she had to say. What was most rewarding to you today?
Honestly, I got to see driving from a truck driver's perspective. You know, usually I'm in my car driving, and there are times where I'm not being considerate of truck drivers because they're not moving fast enough for me. So it's a simple fact of you get to appreciate the little things, like them trying to be careful and not endanger anyone else.
The other thing is, what annoyed you the most?
What annoyed me the most was... that's a good question. Honestly, I guess the bumpiness of the road. Just in a truck, you feel a lot more. It's crazy how small of a detail that would be, but just literally you feel, especially when you're trying to sleep, it is hard to sleep. And you don't feel at ease. You don't feel relaxed. You're confined to this little space.
When it comes to maintaining that balance, how are you always able to keep up with your enthusiasm, your joy, your laughter? How are you able to function off like an hour, 3 hours, 4 hours of sleep? How do you do it? What is your secret?
In all honesty, it is a mindset thing. And again, people also. It is all about having the choice. You put yourself in that position. I'm the one that chose to do 3 jobs. That should not affect anyone else. Because I chose to wake up at like 2, 3 in the morning and run off of like a couple hours or fumes, it's like it's not that person. I should not treat this person in any shape or form like rudely or be disrespectful, because I'm the one that chose that life for myself. So I can't sit here and be rude or be mad or just, be cranky towards this person when I put myself in that position. It's all about control. You have to have self-control. How bad do you want something? You have to give yourself the pep talks. You have to think about your end game. You have to motivate yourself and pretty much prove something to yourself. You're not proving anything to anyone else. It's all about yourself and your strengths and weaknesses, knowing what you can and cannot handle.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you the long way. For real. As y'all were able to see, I'm not sure what it is about this year in particular, I've seen so many truck accidents. It's ridiculous. This whole pileup was because of that truck accident that y'all saw before. Good morning. Good morning. It is March 25th, and I was up at like 1:34-ish, hopped in the shower, went on about business, and I got to where I need to pick up this box. 220 something. Long story short, the box wasn't where it was supposed to be. I texted boss lady first because I hate waking people up. So I texted her first, wait a couple minutes, then I called. After she didn't pick up, wait a couple more minutes, I'm heading to the crib. I didn't want to go up to Virginia anyway. So that concludes today, or right now. More than likely, I'll let her know if she needs me, whatever, at whatever time, and I informed her. So it's time to go back to sleep. Let's pick up. So y'all see this right here, how it's turned. Like this. So you see this? That's all it is. Right? Alright, and then I'm gonna zip tie. I'm gonna put a zip tie through here and then wrap this around, and it's locked, or considered locked at that. Okay. I always check the seal, most importantly, because some of these trailers get broken into and people get fancy and put other seals on it. And yeah, that's a 53-foot chassis. What happened to the load that I was gonna pick up around 2 something in the morning? Unfortunately, a driver did not communicate with boss lady that they wasn't picking up the container when they was supposed to pick it up and drop it on the yard in order for me to take it to its final destination. I wasn't too upset because I did catch up on a couple of hours, and I was dispatched a little after 9 a.m. to come here to this location in somewhere in North Carolina, but not too far from Charlotte. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know what it is when I get to somewhere delivering or picking up being loaded, but that sleep, oof, I didn't feel like I slept for 3 hours. I'm telling you. And it's only been like 45. It took both of them who helped me to close it and was still struggling. The guy was like, this is one of them containers that should have went in the bottom of the ocean. And he was not lying. And I'll show y'all why. The metal on the inner closings has worn out, so it's not going to close. This door has to close before that door. For those of you who were aware of what I posted within my community section, now this is where the miscommunication or overall confusion transpired, right? I was informed by the facility to drop the box in slot 82 and pick up my loaded container in slot 65. After hooking up and inspecting everything, this is how impaired this part is. I noticed that the seals were inaccurate. After figuring out that, I notified my boss lady and I told her everything what was going on, and thereafter, once signing out, they were informed and aware of the confusion or the mix-up in the seals. Long story short, the facility of where I picked up this load, they took it upon themselves to load the shipment on a completely different box, in which it can be a huge hassle because different ship lines, different vessels are on different rails going to different locations, so this product may not be, I guess, eligible to be on this particular ship line because the container that it was originally supposed to go on has a certain cutoff date or time of when it needs to be loaded and shipped out, right? I'm not entirely sure what was wrong with that previous trailer or container, but no one really informed or communicated what was going on, so they just took it upon themselves to handle business in their own way. Once everything was, I guess, figured out in a sense, my dispatcher told me to go ahead and pull it, and she would try to contact whoever she could contact in regards to the shipment to see if it was okay to head to the rail. And that was that. All in all, the moral of this was to just be meticulous when checking over the equipment, checking over the load, checking over the seals, because it may fall back on the driver. Blown out tires. Sometimes we leave these facilities with a flat tire and don't even know it. Now this place, it was tight, but they were efficient, so I will give them that. Now, for those who made it to this part of the video, I know it's been quite a long video. This next video is going to be like a maintenance-like video. What I spent 2021, 2022 on my 2013 Freightliner Cascadia. That kind of came off my Instagram, and I would have been an owner-operator 2 years, May 9th. I'm so proud of myself because when I do certain things, I try to see what I can truly learn and benefit from it. You know, like this taught me a lot about, it taught me more about discipline, more about patience and consistency in general. So being an owner operator, trucking, over the road, all of it is either sink or swim. It's either going to make or break a person, but I look past all the negative and try to see what I can benefit the most from it. Being over the road makes me very uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I ever shared that with y'all, but I do what I do because of my priorities. And I'm exposed to so much over the road. I never know what's going to happen in Seattle, Washington, or out in California, to where when I'm home doing local, my terrain, I'm comfortable. I'm in my comfort zone. I'm more aware, and in terms of what could potentially happen off of Brookshire or Statesville Road, so on and so forth. But based off these comments, for real, yeah, I could go work at a hair salon, or go be somebody's nurse, or do something more lady woman like based off these comments. But I do what I do based off what's best for me, and the peace that I receive driving, the sustainability, the financial sustainability, everything is what's best suited for me. So do what you love what you do, let it work best for you. Put the Most High first, for real. If you have no type of spiritual belief, believe in yourself. Allow the Most High to direct your path in every possible way. Lead you and guide you, and it'll work out. It's by the grace of the Most High that I've made it as far that I've made it within the trucking industry. And I give all thanks to the higher power. Y'all stay safe, and until the next.
A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once. You niggas don't really